So Sir Gawain and the Green Knight is one of the adventure stories of one of King Arthur's knights, Sir Gawain. So basically it's Christmas time in King Arthur's court, and this stranger in green shows up on New Year's Eve. He's wearing holly and he's carrying an axe, and he's totally like head to toe green. So real quick, let's talk about the symbolism of that green. It actually means hope, peace, fertility, and love. But most importantly, it means nature. Remember that nature and paganism go together, and King Arthur's court and Christianity go together. So by carrying holly, this stranger is showing peaceful intentions, but by also carrying the axe, a weapon of war, he's kind of in a way saying, I have peaceful intentions, however I will defend myself if necessary. Weirdly, the knight is like, hey, I've come to issue a challenge. Whomever accepts this challenge can hit me with my axe, but in a year, I will be able to do the same to him. So obviously everybody's like, what? But the knight then mocks Arthur for being kind of caught off guard and kind of goads him into taking the axe. But Gawain jumps in and he begs Arthur to let him do it instead. So Gawain legit chops this guy's head off. Instead of dying, however, the knight picks up his head. The head says, see you next year, and they ride away. So autumn comes, and Gawain rides his horse Gringolet towards the meeting place, and he's carrying a shield with a pentagram on it. And the pentagram, 5 points, is actually pretty symbolic. It could stand for the 5 wounds of Christ, or the chivalric attributes, which are friendship, generosity, courtesy, chastity, and piety, or even the 5 senses, which every knight must be able to wield deftly to be victorious in battle. So it's not a good time. He has to go through trials, kind of par for the course for a quest. There's wolves and giants and dragons, but Gawain's a knight, so he faces them all with courage, and of course, he prevails. Finally, he finds a castle on Christmas Day, and the lord of the castle introduces him to his wife and this random old lady who's kind of hanging around. He says, yeah, sure, Gawain can stay, but he also says he's going hunting every day with his guys, and Gawain can stay back at the castle, but anything that he's gotten by the end of the day, he will give to Gawain if Gawain will give him anything he's gotten during the day. So Gawain's been traveling since like Halloween, so of course he is going to be all about this. So the first day, Lord goes off, and the Lord's wife tries to seduce Gawain, and he's like, no way. So she steals a kiss and runs off. When the Lord returns, Gawain gives him the kiss, and the Lord gives him venison. Second day, same deal, but she gives him 2 kisses. Gawain gives the Lord the kisses and gets a boar's head. Third day, she gives him 3 kisses and wants to give him a token. Now remember, like from The Knight's Tale, a token is basically something that you wear that says you were in love with whoever gave it to you. So that's not really a light thing to ask of somebody. At first, Gawain's like, no. Until she says, hey, this green girdle, which is basically a sash, is special. And if you wear it, you can't be killed. So he takes it because, you know, Green Knight's about to try and chop his head off. So he gives the Lord the kisses, but not the girdle, and the Lord gives him the fox skin. So New Year's rolls around, and Gawain rides out to Green Chapel. The Lord of the Manor sends an escort to take him off property, and he's like, man, like, I won't tell anybody anything if you just want to, like, forget all this and take off. And of course, Gawain's not going to do that. I mean, he's a knight. This is the stuff knights do. So he rides on and finds the cave that is the Green Chapel, and the Green Knight steps out to fulfill this bet. So he swings once and Gawain flinches, and the knight stops the swing and is like, ha, wimp, you chopped off my head and I didn't flinch. That of course ticks off Gawain, who's like, here, just do it, man. So the knight goes again, but stops again before touching him. On the 3rd blow, he actually cuts Gawain's neck, and Gawain jumps up and is like super ready to fight. But the knight's just like chilling, hanging on his axe handle, just smiling at him. So it turns out the Green Knight's name is Bertilac, and he is also the lord of the castle that Gawain is staying at. He says, look, you were honest day 1 or 2, so I didn't strike you. But day 3, you didn't give me everything my wife gave you. Now, did you? So Gawain throws the sash off and rails against his cowardice and comes clean about keeping the sash. And the knight's like, it's cool you kept it for love of your life, not love of my wife, so we're good. He lets Gawain keep the girdle and says, oh, by the way, that old woman hanging out in my castle, she's kind of Morgan Le Fay, and this whole thing was really kind of her idea. Dun, dun,